Jose's deck. He plays Archie's Ace in the Hole and Maxi's Hidden Ball Trick, both cards that you can only play if it's the only card in your hand.
Yeah, so you don't want big hands with this deck. You just want to be able to pull out Pokemon from pretty much nowhere, or in this case, the discard pile.
Yeah, so it focuses on Gallade for that Maxi's, an amazing card against Zoroark. And then off the Archies, it actually uses Gyarados from Crimson Invasion, I believe. And it's 2 energy, 2 colorless, for 50 times the number of Magikarp in your discard. So if you Archies it out and have 4 Magikarp in the discard, you do 200 damage for just a double colorless.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll take knockouts. You can have choice bands in there as well. We do see the Ultra Ball to start, getting a Gallade and a Gyarados in the discard, so that's exactly where they want to be.
It's not bad.
That's pretty much the perfect start. His hand is dwindling already. He did Ultra Ball for the Tapu Lele. The Computer Search.
Looks like Computer Search discarding a Puzzle of Time and a double colorless. Those are cards that you don't want to discard, but if you have Computer Search in hand, you almost for sure have Maxis or Archies.
Yeah, you've definitely got it. Also, we see while he's in there playing a Battle Compressor as well. So looks like Jose's hit pretty much the perfect opening hand to at least pull off one of these big supporters.
Yeah, I think 3 Magikarp going to discard, or maybe another Gyarados as well. But I think there's a Tapu Lele in hand as well.
Yeah, it is the Tapu Lele. Looks to be the Magikarps. Obviously, he's not going to max out while this one is in the active.
A Rotom deck from Jose here.
Baby!
A card that does not really see much play, except for in fringe decks like this. It's essentially shuffle your prizes into your deck, and then place the top cards from your deck to your prizes until you have 6 again.
Yeah, I mean, basically what he's done here is he's gone in the deck, seen that something's missing, knows it's prized, and has just decided to Rotom decks. That does mean, though, the last card in his hand is Tapu Lele.
Yeah.
And he's going back in.
It's such a high roll, risk to do, because what if you just, Rotom decks and all your double colors go in your prizes?
Yeah, you actually had, good resources in there, or you just put them right back in. We do see the big play. There it is. Maxi's Hidden Ball Trick. Gallade is on the bench, and the follow-up draw as well. So this turn has just gone pretty much perfectly, I think, for Jose.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you get turn 1 Maxis or Archies with this deck, that's how your deck's supposed to function. So
that's the colorless. It's not prized. It's not prized, at least all of them.
Right, yeah. Then Premonition from Gallade. Such a great ability on this card that is really well poised in this format, with Zoroark being so popular.
Yeah, just having a little look, being able to shuffle around, put those in order, taking the supporter.
And looking at Magikarp's art here, this Magikarp came out in Crimson Invasion as well. Really good. It has that Submerge ability to prevent bench damage done to it. But looking at the art, it actually shows the old Team Rocket's submarine Magikarp from the show.
Nice little play with the Submerge ability there. But he doesn't even want it on the bench. He just wants it in the discard. But at least he's kind of leaving it in the active there, try and bait it out, see if...
Well, one thing he could actually do is just evolve into Gyarados and deal 150.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a solid play. I mean, he does have 1 Gyarados in the discard, trying to catch that with the Archies.
Yes.
But, I mean, he went for Maxi's first turn, so maybe he feels like when he looked through Gyarados, able to just bring that into play naturally.
Yeah, bringing it into play naturally, Glade's just inherently better against the fighting weak Zoroarks. And having that Premonition after your first Maxis or Archies is really great, just because then you could shape your draws and hopefully get another Maxis or Archies next turn.
It'd be really nice if he can make that play. We usually talk about these decks with Ace in the Hole or Hidden Ball Trick. Usually they just need 1.
Yeah.
But this deck kind of has the option to go for 2. So, pretty lengthy turns from Jose here. But, if it pays off and he gets his Pokemon into play with ease, then, yeah, there's absolutely no reason not to.
A double colorless come down on the Rockruff on the bench. Really kind of conceding to the fact that Zoroark's pretty bad right now, staring down that Gallade.
Oh, yeah. Needs to get the Lycanrocs in to not be in a sticky situation here. I hope it's not Corner Rockruff if it doesn't do that. Corner something awful. I have flashbacks about that. I actually woke up in the middle of the night sweating last night. The corner Rockruff had left me in the active.
Corner!
And I couldn't retreat. I was stuck. It was terrible.
Stuck in your hotel room.
Yeah.
Retreat.
Pretty much.
He was going to bring up the Tapu Lele double colorless, and he will take a knockout on this Rockruff thanks to the double colorless Joe played.
Yeah, Joe went all in to try and, stop the Tapu Lele from Gallade getting in, but looks like Tapu Lele is just going to take the knockout, and Joe's single energy attachment from the last turn completely gone to waste.
Yeah, and remember, if you watched Joe on stream yesterday, energy cards were the thing he was missing most.
Yeah, well, he doesn't pull any energy off that one. It's going to be another Zoroark, though, so he does have access to more trading if he wants to, but he's looking a little hesitant about what he actually wants to get rid of in his hand. Definitely good resources in there. He's not too keen to throw away. I think we talked about it yesterday. Joe doesn't play that execute engine.
Yeah, he plays the 1. So it's really kind of hard for him to find it because he doesn't build his deck around it with multiple battle compressor, the multiple eggs, and being able to play these cards for free, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes up, it comes up. Great.
And it's because he's so focused on that Alolan Grimer and Alolan Muck as well. It's kind of a nombo. A non-combo.
It's a stretch, but I am going to start using it. I heard it first time, I was like, a nombo? Anyway, he does take the Colrus off his Tapu Lele, so using his decent bench size, Jose's not really helping him out here at all. That's a Colrus for
7.
It's not an early game Colrus, I can probably give it a pass, but I think we should do a Colrus power rankings.
Oh, yeah?
Players and their Colrus usage. We'll put that together, get that on Twitter.
I think we could do that.
Yeah.
Focus stats, where you at?
Yeah. Hit us up, get those Colrus numbers to me and I'll rank them. It's also, you've got to factor in Colrus style, so when you Colrus with the empty hand, it's a much better.
Yeah. Here we see a red card from Joe, and Jose's hand was pretty much set up thanks to that first Maxis and the couple premonitions that he had. But the thing about this deck is usually every card that you have, you could play just to get another Maxis or Archies out.
Right, it's usually... He's never stuck with stuff he has to save for later.
Yeah.
Because that just hits you so early in the early game that you don't want those rescue stretchers, the weird and wonderfuls like that, you want to keep them safe. You see Joe using a Pokemon communication.
Probably the longest route to get a Zoroark GX is Rescue Stretcher, the Pokemon from your discard back to your hand, then Pokemon Communication for the Zoroark.
It's a bit lengthy.
It's working for him.
You could go even further if you really wanted to add to it. Could Tapu Lele for the Skylar, for the Rescue Stretcher to Pokemon Communication.
Well, unfortunately, he does not have Skyfield in play, so that's not looking that good.
But yeah. I do see Joe, actually, if you're wondering, that die on the counter is counting as trades. Yeah, just there's no erroneous damage being thrown around. He will actually be able to get the Alolan Muck into play. So
Submerge is shut off.
Ooh. If he can get damage on that bench,
which is not possible.
Not available in his deck. If only he'd bought the Darkrai EX.
Oh man,
could be picking up all the prizes.
Battle Compressor from Jose, really just trying to discard stuff he doesn't want in his deck anymore. It's kind of the same with the Aerodactyl Maxie's deck. Yeah. After your first few turns, a lot of cards are just useless in your deck.
Once you've made the big play, you don't want to commit to just making it every turn because you go through so many cards. So just getting rid of some, I guess, junk in his opinion now.
Yeah, Professor Sycamore is junk. You hear it here.
Yeah, oh.
Adam Doricott, Professor Sycamore is junk,
well,
2018.
Either that or things that he can get back with VS Seeker.
Okay.
But it's like a combo. He can get rid of a couple of things that are not so needed, and then one thing that he can just grab back. So
one of my favorite plays is like Battle Compressor double colorless that you need, and just puzzle the time it back to your hand.
Oh, so worthwhile.
Yeah. It's like I played a computer search.
Just with more. They're the same number of cards.
Yeah.
With 3. And you can grab something else with the puzzle as well. It's better computer search. We've broken the game.
Oh man. You guys are misplaying. Don't play computer search. Just play puzzles.
Yeah, play puzzles.
Which I think everyone already does anyway.
And battle compressors.
Yeah.
Which pretty much everyone does.
Jose played the end of 5 and retreated the Tapu Lele. He will be able to take the knockout with Gallade right now.
Yep. I mean, this is...
I think he has a special charge in hand as well, which is great because he discarded that other DCE early turn 1.
Yep, they're going right back in before he goes for the attack. Pretty much keeping himself in a really nice position. There is actually very light on the energy from Joe here. Actually, none in play.
And that's been his problem for the few times we've seen him.
Right, I mean, the Gallade's not going to be hard to knock out for him once he can kind of get there and get that energy into play. So really, all he needs to do is find that double colorless, but that comes at the cost of losing a Zoroark.
That's where Jose kind of has to put like the gas pedal on a little bit. Like, well, if he does knock out this Gallade, am I going to be able to get another one up next turn, or a Gyarados with 4 Carp in the discard, which he already has the Carp in play?
Yeah, he knows it's an option. We do see him attaching the Choice Band to that Magikarp, so maybe looking to turn that into a Gyarados.
But Sensitive Blade taking the knockout, 260 damage on that Zoroark GX, more than enough to take it.
Oh, entirely. We will see the first trade from Joe here. He's only got access to 2 this turn. Does hit his execute. Yeah, now his trades are easier. Easy decision to make, just propagate
Well,
that.
actually, not really. Alolan Mux is in play. So he can discard the A.
He's done himself there.
Yeah.
At least he can do 1 trade for free. Well, not for free, with a card that's now worthless.
Hey, it's not worth it. It's a Pokemon on the bench. He's shuffling it back with Communication right now. Communication is a card that I love seeing played again. Just its utility with all these executes, and with just people playing like 30 Pokemon in their deck. It really is just kind of a free search card.
Yeah, I mean, if you've always got like a Pokemon that you don't need right now, or particularly, in these decks, the technical additions, like the Mew, like you want to get that out. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find it, so you can just
or like if you have like that one of Pokemon in your hand and a Sycamore, and you don't want to discard it, you can all right, Communication it, put it back in the deck, get the Zoroark I need right now, and then Sycamore my hand away.
Right, so many options that.
And here we see another red card from Joe, really trying to disrupt Jose's hand.
There's no Skyfield from Joe yet, so his damage is definitely going to be limited.
Yeah, right now he's not taking the knockout on Gallade.
Right, and he can't even get over the hump with a Choice Band. He does pull forward the damage counters.
And wow, this is big, because Jose didn't have access to another Maxis or Archies this turn.
Yeah, all Jose needs to do is find a supporter right now, and then he can just swing for another big knockout.
So he has an Archies in hand. It'll be interesting to see if he can actually get down his whole hand to play it. Usually these decks do, but when you draw like 2 supporters or like 2 energy, that's like the one chance where it doesn't actually work.
Yeah, we see him using the Trainer's Mail right now. Just trying to help out with getting his order together.
Gets the Battle Compressor, really just trying to thin his deck out of stuff that will not allow him to continue just getting his attackers in board.
Right, making sure that the right things are all in the discard as well.
And chooses just to take a Battle Compressor. Remember, you have to take at least 1 card, and because he values the rest of his deck. He's like, okay, well, these cards all advance my board state, get me something, so might as well keep them in there. Yep. Ultra Ball for the Tapu Koko, really just in there for the free retreat. It's a great starter, especially when you're playing these Maxis and Archies. And there we go, Archies, ace in the hole, Gyarados hitting the bench, and that's a big monster right there.
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is he's going to be able to Sensitive Blade again this turn. He's now played it, does enough damage to comfortably get the knockout with weakness. That was kind of the trap in that one. He had to be able to play the supporter to be able to get the knockout.
Yeah,
managed to do it totally fine. Now Gyarados comes into play, and he's got a Premonition right now, just checking against his hand, but a cross-reference there. But again, Joe does manage to come up, does manage to get the energy into play, and now it's going to be going away at the end of this turn.
Oh man, Versus Seekers gets some Maxis for next turn, just for when the Gallade gets knocked out.
Right. I mean, he must look at his hand and know that he's going to be able to play that down.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. It kind of forces Joe, like, to have another N or a red card. And there we go, Sensitive Blade for the knockout on the Zoroark GX. Jose is down to 1 prize here with his Archie's Maxis deck.
I mean, I think against the Zoroark matchups that we talked about, you can't really ignore it as a quality matchup because once the Gallade comes into play, then.
And look, there is a concession from Joe to not draw what he needed off that trade.
Ooh, that's not a good trade when you just you know
trade,
you needed
drop all your cards on the board,
yeah.
scoop. Let's go to game 2.
Right, but
I'll go first.
Joe gets to go first now.
Yeah.
There is one downside to that, I guess, is that he can, if the Maxis comes in again turn 1, if he can sneak it into the active somehow, that damage just goes pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. I guess the one hope is he has to attach like a double colorless somewhere that's not his Maxis or Archie's target.
Yeah.
But
so if he can, if he misses any kind of switching, he doesn't have access to a Guzma to do the switching.
Yeah.
So it has to be Floatstone or a Manual Retreat.
One way decks in Expanded are able to deal with these Maxis Archie's decks is Getsis. It'll be interesting to see if Joe actually plays it and if he has it for turn 1, and if it's worth it for him to do that instead of play like a Bridget per se.
Yeah, he made the safe play.
Yeah.
And when he was playing second, but like I said, I love Getsis against these decks. They're just so ridiculously item heavy.
That's why in the Aerodactyl deck, Drew and I put 3 Oranguru.
So you can always draw back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes.
And wow, starting off, speaking of Oranguru, Jose has Tapu Koko and Oranguru for his board. Kind of the perfect start for this deck.
Yeah, again, we talked about getting out the active. If it comes off, he's easily got Tapu Koko to leave.
Yeah.
So, we do see Zorua in the active. I think Joe maybe needs to get a little more value out of the Rockruff. Roll Rockruff into Lycanroc. That could be good for him, but as we saw last time, as soon as that Rockruff hit the bench, he committed an energy to it, and Jose just capitalized on that.
So here we go. He commits to the Bridget turn 1 play thanks to Wonder Tag from Tapu Lele, getting, I think, 2 Zora and a Rockruff.
Do you think that's an indication he doesn't have a Getsis, or he just doesn't want to make that play?
I think he for sure has to play Getsis when he plays 2 red card, but I think without starting the Zora, he starts the Grimer instead. You really need to get these basic Pokemon in play so you can have your evolutions for turn 2.
Yeah, that's going to be a big deal. He does commit a fighting energy to this Rockruff this time, so if that gets knocked out, it's not the biggest loss. Unlike last time where he lost the double colorless on it. Looks like Jose's up.
Oh, he drew a Professor Sycamore. That is one of the cards that if you draw, it's a little bit harder to get the combo just because the more supporters in your hand, the least likely you'll be able to discard them to play.
Yeah, you need, and it's kind of galling to Ultra Ball for discarding a Professor Sycamore.
Yeah.
It's not, it's a bit of an ask. It's not something you really want to do, but if it allows him to make the play that he needs to make, then yeah, it's got to be done.
Battle Compressor discarding Gyarados, Glade, and a Magikarp.
Yep, getting it ready. We'll see the Trainer's Mail, so see if he can get something to help him out. Maybe try and...
Ultra Ball would definitely be a great card right now.
There's one right on the front there. He's having a little peep in his hand. Just cross-referencing.
And yep, gets the Ultra Ball. And with 4 cards in hand, as long as one of them is playable, he will be able to get the Maxis or Archies this turn.
Well, he's given up the Archie's Ace in the hole, and I believe the Professor Sycamore behind it.
Yeah, I think that's what it looks like, and
so
it really just depends. Does he have a playable card in his hand?
The other option is, he could, if he needs to, go for the Tapu Lele. I think it's interesting seeing him discard the Maxis. He's definitely committed to the Gallade play again. Yeah, because it was just so good. No reason not to at this point.
And this we see here, he actually has the 2 utility Pokemon that he really wanted the Ultra Ball for in play already. So this Ultra Ball fails to search for a Pokemon.
But it does its job.
Yeah, really just getting the cards out of his hand.
Yep, he's down to...
And wow, he just chooses Sycamore.
Oh, it wasn't the Sycamore.
His hand had 4 supporters in it.
Oh, yeah, the Sycamore and the N there. No way to deal with that. This is actually a pretty slow turn 1 now.
Oh, yeah. Just having Archie's, Maxis, and Sycamore in your opening hand, it's not what you want to see.
No, I think Jose able to play another Battle Compressor, get those Magikarps into the discard. But overall, that's really not what you wanted in this instance because, yeah, you just need cards that you can actually get rid of.
Part of me wonders is if he instructed, would he have drawn like an Ultra Ball to Ultra Ball for the Tapu Lele?
Right, would have been a big play
But then
if it came off.
But then if it's something you need, like a double colorless, and then you have to discard it with Sycamore,
It's not worth it at that point.
Magikarp does come down. One way to actually get around this bad start, essentially, from Jose, where you don't get the Maxies or the Archies, is I'll just manually evolve a Magikarp next turn. I'm still hitting for 150 base damage.
We do see Tapu Lele go in and grab Archies this time.
Yeah.
So maybe going for a slightly different tact. I don't want to curse him.
Well,
do we think it could be hidden behind a potential Rotom-Dex play?
But we actually, because with discarding those 4 supporters, essentially turn 1, you lose the utility of keeping the sensitive blade up every turn.
Right,
it's a little bit harder
to hit VS Seeker.
So if you just have Gyarados with a Choice Band and 4 Magikarp in the discard, you do 230.
It's definitely another way around it.
But
Floatstone
Pokemon Communication, the Tapu Lele came down, got Joe Supporter. Red card here.
That's making sure that Archie's Ace in the hold he grabbed isn't going to be... I mean, it could still come in his hand, that's how numbers work, but, you know, he guarantees that he may not have to play against it.
Double colorless on the Rockruff is what it's looking like, and then Joe left with the Colress in hand. Again, Colress for 8. Turn 2, not bad.
It's a B tier Colress, maybe like an A minus tier Colress. I'm just making this up, I have no idea what the tiers are. But I mean, if he can grab that Rockruff, he can start taking some prizes right now, or Lycanroc to evolve the Rockruff.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. I believe the correct play would probably be bringing up a Rangaroo and taking the knockout on that, especially if you don't get the Alolan Muck, but if you do, then it doesn't really matter.
No way he misses the Lycanroc now with the Pokemon Communication. One of those utility cards. Just going to have a little look.
Also has access to an Ultra Ball in his hand as well.
Yeah, there's no way he misses the Pokemon he needs. He grabs Lycanroc there. Has another look through. I think he's declared he's going back in, so the Ultra Ball coming to the 4. And, yep, there it is. Probably just going to grab Zoroark off this.
Well, he has the option, so you can grab the Zoroark or you can grab the Muck. Zoroark definitely would help him try to draw through some of his plays, but another card that helps him draw through some of his plays, Shaman EX.
Yeah. Will be needing... I mean, that reveals something in his hand.
Skyfield,
Skyfield,
sure.
yeah. There's no way he doesn't have that if he's taking something else. I think grabbing the Oranguru here could be quite nice. There's the Skyfield, just confirming our suspicions. And I think Joe's just waiting to play the...
He actually just sets up for the 4 instead of playing the Lycanroc. Really wants more information before actually committing to that Bloodthirsty Eyes play.
Right. Make sure he knows what he can do right at the end of it.
And chooses not to Bloodthirsty Eyes at all.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to comfortably knock out this.
Getting rid of the Free Retreat is also very good.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even have to use a big GX attack for this.
Yeah.
Because of the weakness, he can just, totally go for it.
Or, just because it does 110 damage.
That'll get you too, yeah.
There we see the Claw Slash from Lycanroc. 220 damage to the Tapu Koko.
That's a little bit overkill.
A little bit
much.
Alright, action back on Jose. Promotes that Oranguru. And after getting red carded, we'll see if his hand is actually put together enough to draw out a Maxie's or an Archie's.
The big thing here, though, is that Joe's actually attacking with the Lycanroc, which I think is huge in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not getting knocked out by...
We actually see Jose discard 2 Order Pads off an Ultra Ball just to get Gyarados.
Yeah, that's a big deal, and I think getting an attacker that's not weak to one of the biggest attackers in Jose's deck is huge right now.
There's the Floatstone and the Versus Seeker. This was the perfect hand for Jose off that red card. Gallade coming down. He just needs a double colorless to start attacking.
I mean, the double colorless is going to help him, but then the Gallade can pretty comfortably get knocked out right now.
Well, that's why you promote Gyarados.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd like to see it. Let's see if he can play around this.
Oh, he did get the computer search that will net him a double colorless as well.
He's got the float stone on the Oranguru, so that's not trapped anymore. That's definitely something that helps him.
Yeah, and he still has Instruct left too. This has been quite a turn from Jose.
Yeah. I mean, again, Oranguru is going to be such good value in these decks because you're playing your hand down all the time. So once you've used your Archer's Ace in the Hole, your Maxi Sit and Ball trick, then you've got a lot of hands that are still intended to play down your hand. So just play it all down and then Instruct. You can just keep on going like that.
It's not foreign for this deck to actually go Maxis or Archies for the first like 5 turns of the game.
Right. They definitely have the options to do so. Right.
Premonition from Jose. He's not just drawing 5 cards off his deck.
Just having a little look. I don't think that's allowed. You don't. I'm pretty sure you can't just look at the top 5 unless Premonition's in play.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Not an expert, but I know there's certain do's and don'ts in the trading card game.
Oh yeah. There's quite a few.
Yeah, I think they call them rules.
Double colorless coming down on the Gyarados. Instruct, drawing Jose 1 card.
Ooh,
Parallel City.
that's nasty.
That is a card.
That's certainly a card, and I don't think Jose should really hesitate in playing this one.
So the thing you might want to hesitate a little bit about is it does reduce your Gyarados' damage.
Right. But it depends. Does it change it from a 1-hit, from a 2-hit kind of standpoint?
No. It shouldn't. And it actually still lets you 1-hit a Zoroark with a choice band because you do 230.
And it's only got the 210. Yeah.
To be fair, though, the Gyarados was evolved from a Magikarp, so
he is limited at this point.
Yeah. So only 130 coming down.
Once he knows that, and that he knows his limitation is he's never going to hit the 1-hit knockout, you may as well just commit to that. Limit Joe's bench space and try and get there. Joe holding on to actually the muck, so wanting to be able to turn off that Instruct, making sure that there's no easy ways for Jose to play this game.
Well, it's a little awkward too because I think at this point Alolan Muck might hurt Joe more than it helps, just because you're only shutting off that Oranguru, but meanwhile you're shutting off your Execute, you're shutting off your Tapu Leles, shutting off your Shaman EXs.
Yeah.
Now this is a pretty weak Colress.
This is a bad Colress.
Only 6.
Oh, after a Parallel
It's a
City.
Cynthia. Like, come on.
Right. It's an early game N. It is a Professor Oak's new theory. Isn't Colress the one that comes up with all the technologies and theories? You'd think she'd have a better one than Professor Oak's new one. But no, 6 cards from Joe there.
There's the trade from Joe's first Zoroark, second trade as well.
I think it's interesting actually in Joe's deck that he does play the Muck and the Execute, because it's really nice to be able to make those propagation plays, and I just wonder if there's times where he's caught between, hey, I'll turn it off and not allow it at all, or, well, like, I'll just let it happen and let my opponents, basics have that ability.
So with the way the board state is right now, Joe is able to take a knockout on the Gyarados with Dangerous Rogue GX thanks to the 3 bench Pokemon that Jose has. But Jose kind of wants that.
Right.
Like, okay, yeah, you could knock out my Gyarados. I have 2 cards in hand, or 3 cards in hand. I'm just going to Archie's next turn.
Yeah, I mean, he can Archie's, he can just start going with the Gallade as well. I think at this point he can kind of stream these Gyarados and Gallade as and when he needs. Once he gets around this Lycanroc, the Gallade is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Of course, his Oranguru's still got the Float Stone, so...
And wow, here we see the double puzzle time for Rescue Stretcher red card.
Ooh.
Stretcher gonna shuffle in quite a few utility Pokemon, Zorua, Tapu Lele, and a Shaman EX. And remember, this is why Joe hasn't evolved into that Muck yet. He still values these cards that will help him draw out of this Parallel City lock.
Yeah, but at the current time, I mean, the Alolan Grimer is taking up space on that limited bench. I mean, I know he started with it. I know there was no way around it, but it just makes this Parallel City hurt even more. that he's so limited in what he can do right now.
Alright, usually you would think, man, red carding my opponent's 2 cards away seems pretty bad, but
Not against...
giving him more cards is actually okay here.
Yeah, not against Archie's and Max's decks. It'd be nice to see what Jose pulls off this one. He's now up to 5. Does have a compressor.
Dangerous Rogue GX did take the knockout.
Yeah, I think he had to do it. And just keep that kind of board state.
Yeah, unfortunately for Joe, he did not have like a Skyfield to bump the Parallel City. And looking at Jose's hand, I think I see like a Trainer's Mail, maybe a tap or a Puzzle of Time, and or a Choreo. There's the Ultra Ball.
Yep, that's one of the big things that he wants right now. See if he can grab something that he really needs.
What do you grab? Like Tapu Koko?
He may just fail it. Doesn't look too convinced on any of the cards, and then nothing coming to the front of the deck as we usually see. Maybe just taking the opportunity to look through the deck instead. Oh, he does take. Oh, there it is.
Tapu Koko, yeah. So earlier on, you don't really want it just because you want to play around Dangerous Rogue GX.
Yep.
Now that he's used it, you're like, why not?
Well, now that he's used it and it looks like the Lycanroc going to be gone at the end of the turn, he can probably feel pretty confident in that choice. There's going to be the single Puzzle of Time.
And it's really just to get the card out of his hand. He has the Archies in hand, almost for surely.
Yeah. Just double check in against his hand to make sure he knows what he's going to draw.
And remember, he still has access to Instruct too. So if he could actually Instruct, draw these 2 cards, and actually play them again, and then Archies, you really just optimize your draws.
I think that's what he's figuring out now. He's just putting together the order of operations that allow him to play one of these very powerful grabber Pokemon supporters.
Yeah, because remember, he still needs double colorless as well.
Yeah, he's going to hit the Instruct, knowing what he's going to get as well. Then the Trainer's Mail. Doesn't look too happy.
Well, I think it's few supporters and Versus Seekers, cards you can't really play when he already has a Versus Seeker in hand, I believe.
Yep, nothing taken off the Trainer's Mail, so pretty smart and safe play. As you say, though, the big thing here is he needs the double colorless. Otherwise, this play is all for naught. He's actually attaching Choice Band, and there's VS Seeker for the Archies.
I think this deck only plays 1 Glade, maybe 2, but at least from what I've seen. And
he really needs to hit double colorless off this, though. Otherwise, this play could be
already used Instruct.
Damp Squib.
Here we go. Is double colorless in Jose's hand? I don't see it. Energy Lotto.
Oh,
this is a card I actually tried to convince Drew to play, but he didn't like it. Top 7. Is there an energy? Double colorless. There it is.
That play, making up for the fact he whiffed it off the draw from Arches.
The clutch Energy Lotto.
That's a big play. I mean, it's really a case of where he attached it. You can throw it on Gyarados and take the knockout that way, or basically set up to keep going with Gallade. I think he has to be a little bit careful with the Gallade after what happened early game, where he has a ton of supporters in the discard. But at the same time, it would just make the game a little bit quicker for him against his Zoroarks. We know you've got it. Put it down.
Well, now you just decide, because you could actually take the knockout with Tapu Lele here.
Right.
And save both of your big hitters for those Zoroarks coming out.
Oh! Well, he won't, eh? It's the story of the year. No, it does put on the Gyarados. And even with the Parallel City, he's going to be comfortably able to do that damage.
Venting Anger for 200 damage.
Down to 180.
Oh, down to 180, you're right.
Got that Parallel in play. Although that's still ridiculous.
Yeah.
Interesting, actually, that he choice bans. I mean, I know he had to play it out, but it would be nice to get the choice ban for him on the Gyarados.
Yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't able to do it.
He had to put it down somewhere to get it out of his hand.
He definitely has access to another copy as well.
Ooh, there's Skyfield. Oh.
Alright, this is what Joe needs to do. He needs to start drawing these cards, get more bench Pokemon in play, and try to combat this Gyarados and Gallade that Jose's just put out there.
Colress to 7. That's It's a
It's
3.
later in the game. It's
It's a 3-star Colrus.
C minus.
Weak. See me after class.
And again, this is the thing of, can Joe just draw into his energy?
Yep, I mean, it's been a problem for him all weekend, I think. I'm sorry. We actually had a small delay, which we're now playing catch up with. It's hard to tell. Joe plays pretty quickly. He does move his hand, but I could see when the slow kind of hand movement was coming in. We just had a brief problem there.
Well, how you could tell is Jose's movement.
Yeah. If Jose's hand isn't going back and forth, then you know something's up.
All right, second trade for Joe. His hand is massive. I guess you can Colress for 7 when you draw 4 free cards.
Yes, I mean, it's still not. It's not the big Colrus.
We'll see it today.
We will. I guarantee in the top cut, we're going to see the Colrus for 11, 12.
No, Colress for 16, and then probably whiff a double colorless and then lose because of it.
With 17 cards in deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. That's how it always goes.
The dream.
You can usually, I know during day 1 at Swiss, if you want some stories of that, just stand at the end of the tables, and some players will always inform you of how they whiffed.
Yeah. Isaiah Williams, round 8 against Drew Kennett, actually prized for Zorwa in game 2.
That is the worst prizing. That's bad.
Yeah, and then next round he actually prized 3 Zorwa against his opponent and still won.
Oh, how?
Aggro Tapu Lele.
I respect that as a play. I think more people should be going aggro Tapu Lele.
It's just a very good card. The only problem is, in this Zoroark Skyfield meta, it gets one hit a lot.
Yeah, it's certainly within reach with that 170. It's pretty easy to.
We see the
find.
Shaman coming down to not draw any cards just because Joe's hand is so massive. Execute also getting benched. Double colorless on the Zoroark, maybe.
Well, this point now with the Skyfield in play, it really comes down to Joe just being able to step up and take out the Gyarados.
He actually evolved the bench a little in Grammar without the Floatstone as well. And that means no basic Pokemon abilities anymore. No Instruct from Jose.
I don't really think Jose is relying on Instruct right now. He just needs to be able to keep the Gallades,
Jose's actually allowing him to evolve into the one with Floatstone. Just overall the better play.
Yeah, very, very kind of him.
Jose's probably the person that has the most sportsmanship out of anyone I've ever been a friend with or anything. His nickname in a bunch of group chats is actually Good Friend.
I actually know. I'll give Jose credit. A personal shout out here. While learning the trading card game down in Florida, obviously I live very close to him and we play, and he's actually very, very kind. And if I make a mistake or something, he's the first one to just be like, "Hey,
yeah,
let's reverse this ourselves. I'll explain it." So yeah, shout out to Jose there for basically being able to step up and do that.
There's 2 things you're guaranteed to expect from Jose. That is being super friendly, super nice, and getting top 64 at regionals.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if he wants to transfer that. While we were talking about lovely sportsmanship, Jose did field blower away the Skyfield, so the damage is back to limited.
He did lose that Gyarados though.
Yeah.
But there's a big bag Gallade on the bench.
Yeah, there's a Gallade ready, but he just needs to hit, again, the double colorless. He did Sycamore to try and find it.
Yeah, he opted for Sycamore instead of trying to go for another Archees.
Yeah, I think he was just desperate to get that double colorless, which it looks to me like he's missed.
Double puzzle?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
There it is.
Double puzzle.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get it this time. Grabbing another puzzle.
Yeah, this is the one great utility from Puzzle of Time, is that even if you do have to discard one early or play one early to look at the top 3, you can actually just get that one back with the double puzzle. That way you still can double puzzle later on in the game.
Right, you essentially get 5.
Yeah.
So you can play 2 pairs and a single. He does get the double colorless off that, obviously, onto the Gallade. I will say Jose's deck's looking pretty light, pretty thin there, especially compared to the chunky old discard he's got. But he really just needs to be in a position now to take the knockouts with Sensitive Blade, and then hopefully for Jose just be able to get another anything really with the way his prices are structured right now.
Yeah, another Maxis for Glade would probably seal the game.
Right.
Right now, as it sits, he's kind of light on attackers. If he loses this Glade, he will have to do a little bit of work.
Yeah,
And
we do see in Premonition, and we saw the double colorless was actually on the bottom of the deck.
ooh,
That's not where you want it at all.
his hand is massive as well. Be a little bit hard to actually get another Maxis with like those 9 cards in hand.
Yeah. Joe's taking a good look through the discard now, wanting to make sure that any potential outs from Jose to seal up next turn are going to be either impossible or hard for him to hit.
Well, it's very important too because Jose had that field blower on the floatstone, so he couldn't just bring up the Alolan Muck and then try to figure it out.
Right.
And if you think about like, well, if I need to like Guzma or something like that, okay, I'll just bring up the Zoroark, try not to worry about it. Hopefully I hit this 150 damage for the knockout.
Right. I mean, he's going to have to get Skyfield, but I mean, we see a puzzle there.
There's a field blower, most likely getting rid of both choice bands.
Yep, there's a gun.
And we also see the double colorless in his hand as well, but
It's not got the damage right now.
his play's kind of lethargic right now. He's still thinking about stuff, but
I mean, the other hope that he has is that I don't think it's a
Jose
real
doesn't
option.
have a
He doesn't have a
supporter.
supporter, yeah. But with a hand of that volume, you've got to think he's either got a supporter or a VS Seeker.
yeah.
I mean, there's no real ways around it. I don't think Joe either
Or
has
even
to
double
do that.
puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, he has to basically find a way to knock it out this turn. He has to get the Skyfield back, which doesn't look like an option.
There's a Lycanroc, no bloodthirsty eyes, because you really need to take out this Gallade versus Seeker for a Colress, looking for just 7 cards, maybe?
Another late game 7 from Joe. I mean, he may be able to play something else down, just in addition. The Parallel's not in play, but he's going to commit to the 7-card Colress.
The 7's actually okay, because
He has such a small
Yeah,
deck.
such a small deck that he's going to draw most of what he needs, but still not have a chance to deck out.
In this board state, I'm going to give the 7-card Colress a B. I'm still aggrieved that it's a small 7. But, like, you could take that home and be like, yeah, I got a B, and I don't think you'd get told off.
Yeah.
Depending on your family.
Sounds like VG just finished up one of their...
Yep, one of their top 4s is all squared away. My old family.
Alright, does it look like Joe hit what he needed? It's kind of awkward because you play these choice bands. You play like 3 choice band because, well, everyone's
There's no
playing these
Skyfield in
GX
there.
decks.
There's no Skyfield, I don't
There's
think.
none?
Well, no, like not
Yeah,
in
yeah,
his hand. It does need a way to get one. But yeah, as you were saying, choice band.
So choice band's a really good utility to hit that 150 number against GX and stuff like that, but with Gallade just being a regular Pokemon, and you need, what, 2 extra Pokemon with Skyfield to take the
Right.
knockout? It's a lot to ask
there
for.
it is. Managed to find it with double puzzle.
But he needs a lot, though. So he needs 2 Pokemon and the Skyfield. This gets 2 of those cards.
Right. But he may have another Pokemon in hand. I mean, he's got 1 card in deck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he traded literally for the last 2, for 2 of the 3. He grabbed Skyfield and Bunnelby, but he just needs another one. There's Skyfield.
Unfortunately, he will not be able to bring back that execute, but he does have the Tapu Lele, so he will have enough to take the knockout here.
More than enough.
More
He's
than
playing,
enough.
Playing down all the good stuff.
Where is Jose's Trick Shovel?
It's in the discard, like the rest of his deck.
And I think we see a red card as well from Joe here, taking away Jose's giant hand. But this could be good for him, though, because it might give him an out for Maxis.
It might give him the perfect Maxie's hand, but at the same time, still gonna have to find the energy.
Yeah.
Still an ask, but we'll see what he draws up on it.
These are an important 4 cards.
Oh, he doesn't even take a real look at them. He just kind of lifts them, has a little peep.
Just a little peep.
That's 4.
5.
Five.
All right. Trainer's
Ooh.
mail. Puzzle of time. Guzma.
Oh, the Guzma. It's going to be stuck.
I see a Verse Seeker as well.
Oh, he's spreading out his numbers. He knows. Battle compressor. He has to compress something.
Does he have an Ultra Ball left in
So
deck? I
this
think
is
he has an Ultra Ball left in deck.
He has to compress away at least something, and then he can Trainer's Mail
For the
Ultra Ball, and then Ultra Ball.
Ultra Ball is hand away,
Then he's got the VS
Maxis,
Seeker.
and then draws into the double colorless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's he has to win this turn, so that's got to be the order. I think he's just got to make sure that he's able to get there.
And that is an Ultra Ball, right? Like, that's what we're seeing. So
yeah, he's getting rid of the order pad. Think he's got it.
does he have the Verse Seeker in hand, though? Does he like actually have a way to
That's
get...
what I'm a little bit concerned about, because it looked like off the Trainer's Mail he'd have to get two things. He's going to Trainer's Mail right now.
Oh, well, he has a double puzzle.
There it is. Okay. I didn't see the puzzle in there. He's got it.
Double puzzle, get like maybe Computer Search or Ultra Ball, and then get that Maxis.
Yep, here it is.
Fail the Ultra Ball, Maxis out the Glade, draw into the double colorless with 0 cards left in deck,
and then win the
Sensitive
game.
Blade for the knockout and the match.
Yep, he's.
Don't forget the Glade.
Get the Glade, please. There it is. He's gonna draw the double colorless.
And
there
that
it
is game. Jose Marrero, 2-0 with Maxis Archies.
Wow, he hit so many of those hidden ball tricks, ace in the holes in that last game. He was just being able to keep making that play. We talk about it being important on game one, but it's so valuable to just keep on going with that.
Yeah, and I think the thing we have to think about is, would he have been able to do that with his like 8-card hand?
Oh, probably not.
Well, actually, probably like, he had
maybe, but
double puzzle and.
I still think that the red card gave him like a really nice hand to do it with. Yeah. And very smart players he was going through, to make that double puzzle play. I actually forgot that the other one was there because I hadn't seen it. So I was a bit concerned. I was like, whoa.
It just goes back to earlier in the game where he double puzzled, got that puzzle time that he used back.
Yeah, that was fantastic play by Jose. And winning